So one of the primary issues that people were concerned about if Donald Trump got elected was climate change and whether we would pull out of the Paris climate deal. Now, almost every country in the world has signed this. I'll tell you the two others that have not signed it. And President Obama did not go to Senate for ratification, and he said the executive branch can handle it, and he did. And we were instrumental in making this deal happen so that we wouldn't melt the planet. And I'm going to show you some numbers on how bad it is in a little bit. And the problem with that strategy was if a Republican won, he could just simply back out as president. And oh boy, it looks like that is the direction that Donald Trump is heading. He tweeted today, "I will be announcing my decision on the Paris Accord over the next few days." And then in bold, because he's a child, "Make America great again." So that is an indication that he will be pulling out. So there was a battle between the, I don't want to say moderate forces, there are no moderate forces in the White House, but the slightly non-insane forces of Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, the Goldman Sachs guys, against the nationalists, so the Steve Bannons, et cetera, who said, yeah, no, we told everybody we'd burn the place down, well now let's literally do it. And you can't back out of this campaign promise, and it looks like he's going to go in the Steve Bannon direction. So now let's talk about the consequences. Under the terms of the deal, the US cannot officially withdraw until November 2019. But even an announcement that the country is looking to leave the deal shows that the White House has no plans to meet earlier targets for slashing greenhouse gas emissions. So that's it. I mean, if they make an executive decision on it, it's over. They won't be participating. You think Trump's going to be like, oh no, but we said we'd be in through 2019, so let's spend a lot of money going in that direction anyway? No, he's going to tell them, no, we're done with it. No enforcement and power everything down. In fact, in March, Trump ordered the Environmental Protection Agency to review the Clean Power Plan, a sweeping regulation passed by former President Barack Obama to limit emissions from the utility sector, by far the country's biggest emitter. The policy was already stayed by the Supreme Court in February 2016 as a result of a lawsuit filed by former Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt, who is now Trump's head of the EPA. Without the Clean Power Plan, the US wouldn't even come close to meeting its goals laid out in the 2015 Paris Agreement. So a lot of people are acting outraged and surprised today, but come on, of course you shouldn't be surprised. They already stopped the Clean Power Plan, and without it, there's no way we would have been in compliance with the Paris Accords. So it was just a matter of officially saying it. Second of all, gee, I wonder which direction he was going to go when he took the guy who was suing the EPA to make sure that we could not be in compliance with this accord and made him the head of the EPA. This is not complicated. I know healthcare is complicated in North Korea is, and nobody knew that. But this one is not complicated. Of course he was going to back out. And so this is the consequences for voting for Donald Trump. What did you think was going to happen? So Huffington Post continues to explain, somewhat ironically, major oil, gas, and coal companies, along with a plethora of other big corporations, urged Trump to keep the US in the Paris Agreement. So even the oil companies are like, well, dude, look, we want to make a ton of money, and I'm glad you put Scott Pruitt in there, and I'm glad you're doing deregulation so I can make more money. But you really probably should follow this plan because we have research showing the planet is in fact heating up, and that is in fact going to cause horrific weather patterns and climate change, which is going to hurt all of us. So even the oil companies are like, yeah, but we really shouldn't do this, Donald. This is actually a really, really bad idea. You know, the one guy inside the administration that we know for sure is against pulling out of the Paris deal. Are you sitting? Rex Tillerson, the former CEO of ExxonMobil. Because you know why? Because those guys did research on it. They know what their internal research is. They're not sharing it with the public, but he's seen the research and he's like, well, I do have kids and grandkids. No, Donald, you really shouldn't pull out of this agreement. Climate change is kind of real. But Donald's like, no, Steve Bannon told me it's not real, so we're out. That was my campaign promise. The Trump administration is still required to regulate carbon dioxide emissions as a public health threat under a 2007 Supreme Court ruling. How it plans to fulfill that legal responsibility is unclear. No, that's Huffington Post reporting. It's super clear. He won't do that at all. You think he's going to follow the law? Like, oh no, but there was a Supreme Court decision in 2007. So Scott Pruitt, the one destroying all the regulations. Make sure you follow those regulations. The Supreme Court ruled that way. No, it's going to be nearly impossible to check. They're not going to enforce it at all. Okay, now about the ramifications. Quitting the Paris Agreement strikes a major diplomatic blow to the US. Only war-torn Syria and Nicaragua, the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, are not included in the accord. Retreating from the agreement, which the US took a lead role in brokering, brands the nation as, quote, a rogue country and, quote, a climate pariah, diplomats said. Congratulations, America, you're now a rogue country. Even Syria probably thought about it. They just couldn't come to an agreement, right? Like Assad and ISIS are like, I mean, climate change is really bad, right? But okay, look, let's keep fighting and then we'll figure out if we should do something about climate change. So congratulations, America. We're now in the camp with Syria and Nicaragua. Well, how does the administration and their allies respond to this? This is my favorite quote. Trump's EPA transition team leader, Myron Bell, said, "Who cares?" Oh, well, that's sophisticated. So we're now a rogue nation. The temperatures are going up dramatically and actually worse than the scientists expected, because they're generally conservative, not politically, but in their nature and in the reporting of their facts. So it's actually worse than we expected. Oh, who cares? On the other hand, who cares? Well, it turns out there is a literal answer to that question. The American people care. Ready for this polling? The deal had overwhelming support in the country. 61% of Americans said the country should remain in the deal, while just 17% support withdrawing and 21% aren't sure, according to a HuffPost YouGov poll conducted earlier this month. That's not from years ago, that's earlier this month. So 61 to 17, and the genius political strategist Steve Bannon and Donald Trump decided, oh yeah, 17 is a bigger number than 61. Well, they can't read numbers, that's why they don't realize climate change is real. So are we surprised that they can't recognize which side the American people are? So it's going to be deeply unpopular, but it is what it is. And then you shouldn't have voted for him. If it's 61 to 7, what did you think? He was joking? We told you that it would be devastating for climate change if Donald Trump got elected, but people didn't take it seriously. Okay, now let's talk about the economic situation. The economic effects of leaving the Paris Agreement would likely be devastating. The US is poised to lose access to fast-growing clean energy markets as Europe, India, and China gain major footholds in an industry estimated to be worth $6 trillion by 2030. Countries that tax emissions could now put a tariff on American-made imports, complicating Trump's plans to reclaim the US mantle as a top manufacturing hub. So the reality is, we are screwed. We're screwed economically, we're screwed in terms of the effects on the planet, and of course Trump and his nationalist cadre in the White House don't care, literally. They say, who cares? Who cares about the planet? Who cares about our health, our well-being? These are dangerous, dangerous times. In fact, let me skip ahead here and show you some of the graphs. Let me go to graphic 62 here. So this is the temperature, average temperature, and you can see from 1980 to 2015 what has happened. If you can't tell that that is going up significantly, and once again, you have issues with numbers and issues with your eyes. Oh, what do you mean warming? Where's the warming? It's right there, knucklehead. It's right there, okay? Average temperature in February was 1.35 degrees Celsius above the norm for the 1951 to 1980 period. And these fluctuations make an enormous difference. I'll show you one last one here. Average monthly Arctic sea ice extent from 1979 to 2013. Yes, that chart is going way, way down. And there's one other devastating consequence to that. That is, if the ice melts in the Arctic and in the poles, then methane that is trapped within the ice gets released. And methane's even worse than carbon. So once the methane gets released, we can't put it back in the ice. You literally cannot put that genie back in the bottle. We told you that electing Donald Trump was not a short-term problem. It could have devastating long-term consequences. And here we are. You don't like ads? Well, I hear you, brother. Did you know that you can become a Young Turks member, get the full 2-hour show every day on demand, plus so many other network shows, all ad-free for just $10 a month. Give it a shot right now, tytnetwork.com/join.